So from here, let's begin in a comfortable seat. So this might mean for you placing some kind of padding underneath your seat. So a thin block or a couple of cushions. You can be cross-legged, you can be kneeling. Just have your candle just in front of you. And then finding a nice, tall spine. So think about connecting the parts of you that are in touch with the ground down into the ground. So it's like you're pressing your sitting bones down. Maybe pressing the sides of your feet down. Any parts of you that can feel the ground, press them down, root them down to lift up. There's a bit of energy in the body. You're pressing down. The spine is lifting, kind of lifting tall. But equally the softness, so you're beginning to let, with that alert spine, you're beginning to let the shoulders relax away from the ears, let the arms be heavy. Let your face soften, let the features of your face become a little bit more open and relaxed. Welcome if you've just joined us, just come to a comfortable seat. And just beginning to maybe close the eyes down. Maybe closing the eyes down. If this doesn't work for you, you can have the eyes open, the gaze can be fixed on one point. You might even wish to fix your gaze upon the flame of your candle. This can be quite hypnotic. So I'm going to just half open the eyes and just gaze down towards the flame, or close the eyes down. Just beginning to allow everything to slow down now. Beginning with your breath. Without trying to change anything too much, just lengthening your inhale slightly. Lengthening your exhale slightly, so just gradually slowing everything down. With each exhale, just see if you can let go a layer. Go of any tension that might have accumulated over the course of your day. Let go of any niggling thoughts, things to do. Just dropping down into your centre. And as you inhale now, see if you can send your breath, follow your breath as it journeys all the way down through the nostrils, down the back of your throat, into the chest, then into the belly. And then just see if you can send the breath even further down, just beyond the belly into the pelvis. When you exhale, really let that breath go entirely until you're completely empty. Breathing all the way down to the chest, the belly, side body, back body, pelvis, hips and beyond. Exhale, fully releasing that breath. Maybe taking some sighs out of the mouth, some audible sighs if that's helpful. Take a couple more of these really big clearing breaths. Just noticing what's there. Noticing if anything's bubbled up to the surface. So when the moon is full, it can kind of enhance what's within us. So if there's any, particularly if there's any anger or something that needs to be released, something we're holding on to, that we're attached to, can kind of be exaggerated. It can kind of bring things up to the surface, bubble up. Like feel a little bit of emotional intensity. So just noticing if anything, sending your gaze inwards, noticing if anything has come to the surface for you today or just now even. Something that might be ready to be released and let go of before we move into the new. Could just be one thing, could be a number of things. Could be something really prominent. Could be 2 or 3 different aspects that are calling to be released. And from here, you're going to gently blink the eyes open, have the eyes half closed, and just send the gaze, if it's not already, send the gaze down into the flame of your candle. If you don't have a candle, that's okay, just imagine a flame, visualize a flame, imagine your gaze directed down into that flame. Just really connect to that flame. And then this is optional, you might want to stay in stillness, you might want to, I find this quite helpful, kind of send your arms out in front of you, direct the palms of your hands towards the flame. So it's like you're giving the flame what you want to release. And then just mentally or out loud, might just state what you want to let go of. I am releasing whatever it is you want to release. I am letting go of, you're handing it over to the flame. And just watching, whatever it is, just watching that burn. It might be one thing that you really are stuck with, that you really want to let go of. You might repeat that over again, mentally or out loud. Might be a few things. Just see what comes up. Try not to use the mind so much with this. Just see what comes up. If nothing is arising, that's absolutely fine. Maybe nothing has come up. Just see if you can make it very instinctive, intuitive. See what arises. And then when you're ready, just releasing the hands back down. So taking your time, we'll sit in stillness just for a minute or so. So if you've still got some releasing to do, some work with your candle to do, just continue with those affirmations, eyes focused on that flame, really handing that over. When you finish, just come to sit in stillness, close the eyes down, and just feel what you can feel, just let everything settle. Turn into that nice deep breath. Inviting the breath to flow fully through you. Breathing into every cell. Exhaling and letting go completely. And we're going to keep our candle alight until the end of our physical practice. So we'll start to move now. So, and just bear in mind that at any point during the practice, if you want to rest, you can rest. It's quite a restful practice anyway. Feel free to come to child's pose or sit or lie down and rest, dip in and out of it if you need to, honour where you're at. If you have any questions or anything that you need to announce, just type it into the little, there's like a little speech bubble, you can type it into that. Or you can, I've got my phone, kind of half an hour on my phone, so you can ping me on WhatsApp even if you need to. So let's make our way onto our hands and knees. Bring your hands directly underneath your shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips. And we're just going to start with some quite free movement, so really tuning into what your physical needs are and just responding accordingly. So you might begin by just circling the hips, small circles, one direction and the other. You might want to close the eyes down now, just coming really deep into yourself. Breathing deeply with the movement. You might want to begin to exaggerate those circles now. These are just suggestions. Do whatever you want. You might want to draw figures of 8 in one direction and the other. You might introduce a bit of a cat-cow into the movement with the breath. Inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze. Exhale, pushing into the hands, rounding the spine. You might come into a more linear cat-cow. That's what you're in need of this evening. So just intuitively, creatively moving, tuning into your individual needs. And from here, just slow the movement down, make it a bit smaller. And then come back to stillness on our hands and knees. Going to start to move with the breath now. As you inhale, you're going to float the right toes back and up. Lengthen the leg, lift the sole of the foot as high as you can towards the ceiling. Send the crown of the head forwards. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose to knee. Push into the hands, round the spine. Gaze to navel, belly in. Inhale, move with your breath, send the toes back and up. Crown of head forward, lengthen, expand. Exhale, push the hands down into the ground, knee to knee, round the spine, belly in. Inhale, toes back in space, crown of head forward, heart forward. Exhale, rounding out, pushing into the hands, shoulder blades apart, belly in. This time, continue with this movement, or you might want to introduce the left arm. So maybe reaching right toes back, reaching left fingertips forwards. Exhale, and keep the left hand on the ground if you want. Exhale, knee to knee, draw the elbow in towards the belly. Inhale, extending and lengthening, use your breath. Exhale, make yourself small, elbow to belly, knee to knee, push that right hand down. Inhale, lengthening, extending. Exhale, you can have that left hand down if you need to, remember. Exhale, bend the right knee. Point the toes as high up towards the ceiling as you can. Optional, inhale, turn the left palm out. Exhale, circle that left arm back and maybe take hold of the instep of the foot. If you're here, you're spinning the heart forwards, lifting the gaze, pressing the foot into the hand and reaching those toes as high as you can towards the ceiling. Take one more deep inhale wherever you are. And exhale, if you have the foot, replace it, bring left hand down, bring right knee down, straight on second side. Inhale, send the left toes up and back, lengthen the leg, draw the crown of the head forwards, make space. Exhale, knee to knee, round the spine, push the ground away with the hands. Inhale, send the toes up and back, crown of head forwards. Exhale, knee to knee. Round the spine, shoulder blades apart. Inhale, breathe the left toes back, crown of head forward, lengthen, expand. Lift that sole of foot high. Exhale, knee to knee, push hands into ground, round out the spine. Continue with this movement, or maybe introduce that right hand, reaching the hands forward. Left toes back in space as you inhale. Exhale, knee to knee, draw the elbow in towards the belly. Send the belly in towards the spine. Inhale, lengthening, expanding. Use your breath, exhale, making yourself small. Inhale, send left toes back, right fingertips forwards. Have that right hand down, remember, as you exhale, bend that left knee, point the toes towards the ceiling. Stay here, optional, turn the right palm out. Inhale, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, circle the hand back, take hold of that left foot. And then push the foot into the hand if you have the bind, lift the toes high. Send the heart forwards and push that left hand into the ground, resist the ground. One more deep inhale. Exhale, if you have the bind, release the knee and the hand back down to the ground. Step the knees back in space by about half a foot. Tuck the toes under. Press into the hands. Deep inhale. Send the hips back. Lengthen out the arms. Spread the fingers nice and wide. As you exhale, push the hands down, tuck the toes, lift the hips into your first downward facing dog. And again, the invitation is to move intuitively and playfully. So you might want to pedal out the feet, lengthening opposite legs as you bend opposite knees, maybe shaking up the head yes and no. Maybe taking a sigh or two out of your mouth to release any mental tension. Eventually arriving in stillness, bring a little bit of a bend into your knees, lift the heels high, lift the hips high. Press the knuckles of the hands down, pads of the fingers down. Send that energy up the spine, lift the hips a little bit higher as you draw the forearms in towards each other, spiral the biceps forwards and the shoulders away from the ears. Let the heavy, back of the neck is long. One more deep inhale. Lift the hips higher. Exhale, see if you can now draw the heels down towards the ground, engaging the front thighs, lengthening backs of legs. If by lengthening the legs your spine begins to round, keep a bend in the knees, so you can really lengthen that spine. One more deep inhale. Full exhale, let it go completely. As you inhale, take some baby steps towards the front of your mat. Slowly, slowly, take your time. And then when the feet arrive at the front of your mat, position them hip width apart, place a little bend in the knees, and just let the torso soften, lengthening the sides of the body, broadening the back surfaces of the body. Maybe take hold of opposite elbows. You might want to sway from side to side. You might want to shake the head yes or no. Again, any movement here that feels good for you. Take a sigh out of your mouth, deep inhale. Exhale, release the elbows if you have them, come to stillness, let the upper body hang. And then as you inhale, press the soles of the feet down slowly, slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, just peel your spine up to stand tall. Tadasana at the front of your mat. Take a moment in your Tadasana, position the feet hip width apart, lift the toes, spread the toes wide, and then reconnect the toes to the ground so you feel really connected to the floor beneath you. Press the feet down, reach the fingertips down, send the tailbone down, drag the shoulder blades down. Just got that downward motion of energy. Simultaneously engage your front thighs so you're lifting your kneecaps, lift all the muscles around the pelvic floor area, and then send the belly in and up at the end of your next exhale. You should feel your collarbones lift, crown of head lift, so there's that equal movement of energy upwards and downwards, very balanced. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, bring the palms to your heart. Start to move with our breath. As you inhale, reach the arms up. So if your lower back's okay with it, you might come into a little bit of a back bend, lifting heart, lifting gaze, otherwise stay neutral. Exhale, fold over the legs, bend the knees if you need to. Bring the hands down to the ground. Inhale, step back with your right foot, bring the shin, the knee, the top of the foot down, gaze ahead, shoulders away from your ears. Retain the breath, step back into a plank, half plank if you prefer with the knees on the ground. As you exhale, lower the knees, untuck the toes, and then bring the belly, the chest and the forehead down to the ground like a wave. As you inhale, breathe yourself up into a baby cobra. Thighs engaged. Try and use your back strength rather than the arms. As you exhale, just tap the forehead to the ground. Inhale, breathe yourself up. So you can breathe yourself a little bit higher. Again, without pressing into the hands, just using your back strength and your breath. Exhale, tap the forehead to the ground. Final time, use your breath. Inhale. Breathe yourself up into your baby cobra. Exhale, push into the hands, tuck the toes, lift the hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot forward between the hands, drop your left knee down and tuck left toes. If your foot gets stuck halfway, give it a hand with the right hand, so knees over ankle. Exhale, step forward with left foot, soften the body over the legs. Inhale, press feet into ground, reach the arms up, maybe lift heart, lift gaze. Exhale, melt forward over the legs, bring the hands down to the ground. Bend knees if you need to get hands down. Inhale, step back with left foot, bring shin, knee, top of foot down, gaze ahead, shoulders back and down. Retain the breath, step back into plank or half plank with the knees on the ground. Inhale, lower knees, untuck toes, belly, chest and forehead come down, and this time cactus the arms on the ground. So your elbows are in line with your shoulders, fingertips in line with elbows. As you inhale, press the hands into the ground to peel the front body up. Work towards lengthening the arms, but only go so far as your lower back is comfortable. Exhale, like a wave, bring the chest and the forehead back down. 2 more, inhale, breathe yourself up. Send the heart forward, shoulders back. Exhale, forwards and down. 1 more, inhale, breathe yourself up. And then plant the hands just beside the mid ribs. Exhale, push hands down, tuck toes, lift hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward between your hands, drop your right knee down. Again, give the foot a hand if you need to, so it's in line with the hands. Exhale, step forward with your right foot, soften over the legs. 3 clearing breaths. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips can be on the ground or on the shins. Lengthening backs of legs, lengthening the spine, gazing ahead. Hold for a moment, exhale. Sigh it out, let the knees soften, let the back round, let the head hang. 2 more, inhale. Halfway lift, long spine, long backs of legs. Exhale. Sigh it out, soften the knees, round the spine, head is heavy. 1 more, inhale. Hold until you're full, exhale. Sigh it out until you are empty. Inhale, press the feet down, reach the arms up and back, lengthen, expand. Exhale, keep moving with the breath, hinge forwards and down, bring the hands down to the ground. Inhale, step back with right foot, bring shin, knee, top of foot down, squeeze inner thighs towards each other. Bring the torso up and reach the fingertips towards the ceiling, lengthening. As you exhale, interlace the hands, bring the hands just behind the head, and just take a moment to press the hands into the head into the hands, sending the elbows away from each other and back in space. As you inhale, think about lifting the heart without arching back too much. As you exhale, think about maybe sending the hips forwards and down, just opening that right hip flex and maybe shuffling the left toes forward a little bit in space. If your back is okay with it, maybe with each inhale you start lifting the heart a little bit higher now, and with each exhale you maybe allow the head to soften back into the hands a little bit more as you really relax into the hips, letting the hips drop down. It's a little bit of action in the posture, so you're slightly squeezing the inner thighs in towards each other. So you've got that nice stable base. Take another deep breath here. Exhaling fully. Inhale, press that left foot down, bring the hips back up and back, lengthening the spine. Reach the palms of the hands towards the ceiling now, lengthening the arms. Exhale, bring the hands down to frame your left foot. Inhale, send the hips back in space, lengthening that left leg, curling the toes in. And if the ground seems like it's far away, bring a prop, a book or a yoga prop underneath you, so you can really lengthen the spine. And then as you exhale, you're hinging forwards and down over that left leg, aiming your chin towards the shin. Coming back to the breath now, a few more breaths here. With each inhale, you're drawing the crown of the head forward, breathing a bit more length into the spine. With each exhale, you're releasing tension from the front body, folding down a little bit deeper, softening the face towards the shin. Another couple of deep breaths. Exhale, releasing. Inhale, plant the sole of that left foot down, bend the knee, tuck the right toes under, send the right heel back in space, runner's lunge. Exhale, step the right foot forward beside the left and fold over the legs. Inhale, press the feet down, reach the arms up, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold over the legs, bring the hands down to the ground. As you inhale, step back with your left foot, bring shin, knee, top of foot down, squeezing the thighs towards each other, reach the fingertips high, really lengthen the arms, lengthen the sides of the body. Exhale, interlace the hands, take the less habitual interlace this time and bring the hands behind your head. Press the head into the hands, hands into the head, send the elbows away from each other and slightly back in space. Inhale, begin to lift your heart towards the ceiling. Don't go too far with this if you've got any low back sensitivity. As you exhale, maybe send the hips a little bit more forwards and down, maybe creep the right toes forwards. Your low back's okay with it. As you inhale, you might lift the heart a little bit higher. With each exhale, just allowing the head to melt back into the hands. So you continue to soften the hips forwards and down, but keep squeezing the inner thighs gently in towards each other so you have that stability. One more deep breath. And then as you inhale, press that right foot down, send the hips back and up, long spine. Reach the palms upwards, lengthen the arms. Exhale, release the interlace, bring the hands down to frame your right foot. Inhale, send the hips back in space, curl the toes in, lengthen the back of that leg. Again, if the ground seems far away, bring something underneath you for support. Nice long spine. Exhale, hinge forwards and down. Try and keep that spine nice and long. Over that right leg, you're aiming your chin towards your shin. Doesn't matter how far you go, as long as you have that action. Connecting movement to breath. Very subtle inner movement as you inhale, breathing your lower ribs towards your upper ribs. As you exhale, sending the belly in, folding the front belly down, letting go of any gripping in the neck, letting the head go. One more deep breath here. Use your breath. Exhale, let it go completely. As you inhale, bend that right knee, plant the sole of the foot down, come onto the ball of the left foot, send the heel back in space, runner's lunge. As you exhale, step back into plank, lower the knees, the chest and the chin down, or lower the knees, untuck the toes, and bring the belly, the chest and the forehead down to the ground. Inhale, breathe yourself up into baby cobra, thighs engaged, tops of feet down. Exhale, push into the hands, tuck the toes, lift the hips high, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath, deep inhale. Full exhale, let it go. And then again, take some baby steps towards the front of your mat. So this time when you arrive, press the feet down, lift the hips, lengthen the backs of the legs. And if the hands have come off the ground here, while you're lengthening the legs, again, bring something underneath you, bring a block or a book, just to close that gap. Bring the right hand onto the ground or onto your support. As you inhale, you're going to bend the right knee, lengthen the left leg, and reach the left fingertips high towards the ceiling, maybe gazing towards the left thumb. The neck's okay with that, opening the chest. Exhale, lower the left hand down, lengthen the left legs, let the head hang. As you inhale, bend that left knee, lengthen the right leg, reach right fingertips high, open the chest. Exhale, soften the hand down. Remove any props that you have underneath you. As you inhale, press the feet down, reach the arms up and back, lengthen. And exhale, bring the palms together at your heart. Pause for a moment, take a breath or two. Your attention inwards. One more deep breath before we start to move again. And then inhale, reach the arms high, lengthen. Exhale, soften forward and down. Bring the hands down to the ground. Inhale, big step back with your right foot. Plant the heel down and then cartwheel the arms up, leading with the right fingertips. Cartwheel the arms up into your warrior two. Just going to switch the other way so you can see me and I can see you. And then send the gaze towards or beyond that left middle finger. Fix the gaze, soften the face. And then just feel the posture. Feel the fingertips moving away from each other. but the shoulder blades relaxing. Feel the shoulders stack directly above the hips, that left knee directly above left ankle. So you may want to encourage that knee a little bit further out towards the left side of the mat. Take one more deep inhale. Exhale, lower the right hand down onto the right thigh. Flip the left palm up. Keep that deep bend in that left knee as you inhale. Reach the left fingertips high. Reversing your warrior. Opening that left side of your body. As you exhale, bend the left elbow. Bring the forearm to the left thigh. Reach the right fingertips up and over. Coming into your side angle. Opening right side of your body. Moving with your breath. Inhale, again reversing your warrior. Keep the legs still and stable. Just moving from the waist. Exhale. Back into your side angle. Lengthen that right side. One more inhale. Reversing warrior. Opening your left side. Exhale. Side angle. Fluid movement. Inhale, press feet down. Lengthen that left leg now. Bring the palms together at the heart. As you exhale, turn the right toes out. Turn the heel in. And just look towards your heels. You want to be able to draw a straight line between your heels. Your toes are pointing slightly out. Inhale, press the feet down. Lift the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Find length. As you exhale, bend the knees deeply now. So you're coming into your goddess squat. Tailbone dropping down towards the ground. Crown of head lifting, you're sending your knees out and back. So you're really opening the hips. Pausing here. Pressing the feet down, feeling the ground beneath your feet. Let's take a really big cleansing breath now. Deep inhale into the chest, the belly and beyond. Hold for a moment, feel that fullness. Exhale it out of your mouth. Really send that breath out. Pull the belly in at the end of your exhale. Inhale, press the feet down, lengthen the legs. And then as you exhale, you're going to spin the left toes to point forward. You're going to spin onto the ball of your right foot, bending that left knee deeply, arriving in your high lunge, lifting that right heel up and sending it back in space. Strong right leg. Inhale, float the fingertips towards the ceiling. As you exhale, lower that right knee slowly like you're moving through water down towards the ground and untuck the toes. Shuffle that left foot out towards the left edge of your mat, toes pointing slightly out. Reach higher with the fingertips as you inhale. And then exhale, bring the hands just to the inside of that left foot. So you're going to have a few options here for your lizard posture. This might be enough for your hips. If you want a deeper stretch along the right hip flexor, you might shuffle, and in the left foot, you might shuffle that right leg back in space, lowering the hips a bit further to the ground. If you're feeling a bit fiery tonight, you might want to make it a little bit more dynamic by tucking the right toes under, lifting the knee off the ground, sending the heel back in space. I won't be doing that. And if you're quite open in the hips, you have a lot of space to move forwards, then you might bring the hands forwards in space by about a foot. Inhale, draw the crown of the head forwards, and then exhale, maybe lower the elbows down. They might come halfway, in which case you might want to bring a cushion or two underneath you, closing that gap. And then whatever variation of the posture that you're in, you're going to take another couple of deep breaths in stillness. Gaze fixed or eyes closed, feeling into the posture. Breathing your breath. One more deep breath. Come back every way. Exhaling fully. As you inhale now, walk the hands back in. Plant that right hand down underneath the right shoulder and float the left fingertips towards the ceiling. You might gaze towards the left thumb. Stay here, or optional, as you exhale, bend that right knee, circle the left hand back, maybe take hold of the foot. If you have the foot, you're using the hand to guide the heel in towards your glutes. Spinning the heart towards the ceiling. Breathing into that open heart. If the left hand is lifted, you're pressing the right hand down to lift it higher. One more deep inhale. Exhale. If you have the foot, release it. circle the left hand forwards and down. As you inhale, creep the left foot back in between the hands, tuck the right toes under, send the heel back in space, runner's lunge. Exhale, step that right foot forward, relax over the legs. Deep clearing breath, inhale, halfway lift long spine. Inhale until you're completely full, pause for a moment, exhale, side out, soften over the legs. Inhale, press feet down, reach the arms up, lengthen, expand. Exhale, bring the palms to the heart, take a breath between sides. Maybe shut the eyes down, feel what you can feel, travel inwards. And second side, inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding down, bring the palms down to the ground, and knees if you need to. Inhale, big step back with left foot, plant the heel down, cartwheel the arms up, leading with the left fingertips up into your warrior two. And then again, fix the gaze towards or beyond that right middle finger. Feel the posture. Feel the right knee stacked directly above the ankle, maybe encouraging the knee slightly out towards the right side of your mat. Find as much length as you can between the tailbone and the crown of the head. Shoulders directly above the hips. Dynamically reaching the fingertips away from each other as you simultaneously soften the shoulders away from the ears. One more deep inhale. Exhale, release left hand down to left thigh. Keep that deep bend in the right knee, flip the right palm up. Nothing changes in the lower body. Inhale, reach right fingertips up and back as you creep the left fingertips down the leg, opening your right side. Exhale, bend the right elbow, bring forearm to thigh, reach left fingertips up and over, lengthening your left side. Inhale, reaching up and back, reversing your warrior, moving with your breath. Exhale, gracefully into your side angle. One more, inhale, reversing your warrior. Exhale, side angle, reach further. Inhale, press the right foot down, lengthen the right leg, bring the palms together at the heart. Exhale, turn the left heel in, turn left toes out. Check, you draw a straight line between the heels and both sets of toes are pointing out. Inhale, press the feet down, crown of head reaches towards the ceiling. Exhale, keep that length in the spine as you bend the knees deeply, sending the knees back in space, opening the hips into your goddess squat. Stay here, or optional added extra as you inhale, lifting the right heel up off the ground. Exhale, replace, using your breath. Inhale, left heel lifts. Exhale, replace. Inhale, both heels lift. Exhale, replace. Inhale, press the feet down, lengthen the legs. As you exhale, turn the right toes to point forward, spin onto the ball of your left foot and send that left heel back and up in space. You bend the right knee over the ankle, coming into your high lunge. Inhale, breathe your fingertips high towards the ceiling. Exhale, slowly lower that left knee down towards the ground, untuck the toes. Inhale, reach high with the fingertips as you creep the right foot out towards the right edge of the mat, turning the toes outwards. And exhale, bring the hands down to the inside of your right foot. So again, a few options. This might be enough. Might want to stay here. Might want to intensify by shuffling that left leg back in space, throwing the hips a bit further towards the ground. If you want something a bit more fiery, maybe tuck left toes under, send the heel back in space, lift knee off the ground. If you've got a lot of space in which to move physically, you might want to reach the hands forward, about a foot, deep inhale, exhale, maybe lower the elbows down. Again, if they kind of come halfway, it's nice to have some support underneath you in the form of a block or a couple of cushions. And then committing to stillness once you find the variation that works best for you this evening. A couple of deep breaths in stillness, feeling the posture, feeling the breath. One more deep breath. And then as you inhale, if your elbows are down, just bring them back. That left knee is lifted, drop it down onto the toes. Press left hand down, reach right fingertips high, open the chest, maybe gaze towards right thumb, stay here, or optional, exhale, bend. That left knee, reach the hand back in space, take hold of the foot, and then use the hand to guide the heel in towards you. As you spin the heart towards the ceiling, keep pressing that left hand down. Another deep breath here. Exhale, if you have the foot, release it. Bring that right hand back down to the ground. Inhale, shuffle that right foot back in between the hands, tuck left toes under, send the heel back in space, runner's lunge. Exhale, step left foot forward, soften over the legs. Inhale, press the feet down, reach the arms up. Lift and lengthen. Exhale, bring the palms to the heart. Take a breath or two. Just let everything settle. See if you can make your exhales a little bit longer than your inhales. And then from here, as you inhale, reach the arms up. Moving a little bit slower now. Exhale. Soften over the legs, bring the hands down to the ground. Inhale, step back into your downward facing dog. Exhale, lower the knees down to the ground, arriving on your hands and knees. From here, you're going to draw that right knee into land just behind your right wrist. You're going to shuffle the right foot as close in towards your left wrist as you can, and then shuffle that left leg back as far as you can, coming into your pigeon posture. So if your right knee is aggravated here, you might want to try stepping it a little bit further in towards the midline of the mat. If your knee still doesn't like this, then just come out of the posture and take rest. So from here, if the hips are off the ground, there's a big gap between the hips and the ground, or if you're leaning over onto one side, bring something underneath you, something that looks like this, or a couple of cushions, just to give you some support so you feel nice and even. Bring the fingertips on the ground in front of you. Inhale, press the fingertips down, lengthen the spine, send the heart forward. Exhale, try and keep that length in the spine, that space across the front body as you come forwards and down. So if the hips are a little bit tight, you probably just want to come onto your forearms. Take a wriggle of the hips, you might want to stay here. Or maybe when the hips start to settle, you might come all the way down to the ground. And if you have support underneath your hips, you're probably going to want support underneath your forehead, closing the gap between forehead and ground. Alternatively, you can make a pillow with the forearms, and the forehead on the pillow, or reach the hands forwards in space, bring the forehead to the ground. Any option is great, just play around with it, see what works best for you. And then again, once you've found variation that works for you this evening, staying with it, holding for another 3 or so breaths. In these hip opening postures in yoga, we talk about the hips being like a storage space for our emotions. So we often feel when we're in these deep hip openers, things again bubbling to the surface. So if that is happening, then just see if you can use it to release with your breath. Inhaling deeply into the sensations, into the things that are coming up for you. Exhale, saying it out, really letting it go. Breathing it out rather than pushing it down. Take one more deep breath. And then inhale, walking the hands back in towards you. Shuffling that left leg back in now. Pushing the hands into the ground and then stepping that right knee back underneath the right hip. Take a moment, notice how your right side feels now compared towards your left. Just tuning in and noticing. I always feel like the hip that's been opened always feels kind of bigger and more spacious. Like there's more room for things to move around in there. So moving on to the second side, we're going to draw the left knee into land just behind the left wrist. Keep the left foot in towards right wrist. And shuffle that right leg back as far as you can. And then again, if there's a gap between hips and ground or you're lopsided, bring something underneath you. any aggravation in that left knee, try moving it slightly in towards the centre line of the mat, or you can opt out of the posture. If anything's uncomfortable, just opt out, just come to rest. Fingertips on the ground in front of you. Inhale, press fingertips down, lift crown of head, heart forwards, lengthening, opening. Exhale, keep that length and broadness across the front body as you come forwards and down. Again, maybe pausing on the forearms, maybe staying here. Maybe wriggling hips from side to side. Eventually, you might come all the way down. You might bring support under the forehead. You might cross the arms, bring the forehead on the arms, or maybe reach the arms out in front of you and rest the forehead to the ground. Take the option that works best for you this evening. And then again, use the breath to release anything that wants to be let go of. Send your inhale into any areas of tightness, of tension, gripping. Exhale, release that tightness, tension or gripping out of your mouth. And just allow your body to really sink down into the ground. Final couple of deep breaths. Relaxing, consciously relaxing all the muscles around that left hip area. And then as you inhale, walk the hands back in towards you. Shuffle that right leg forwards. And then press the hands down, bring that left knee back underneath the left hip. So from here, you're going to walk the hands in towards you. You're going to so I'm going to give you a couple of options for this next posture. So if you're sat on your heels, your knees together, your ankles are together, toes pointing backwards, you're sat on your heels. If your knees and the tops of your ankles don't like this, you're probably going to want to take the alternative option, which is camel pose, which I'm going to talk you through now. So this is the alternative posture. And for camel pose, you might want to double up your mat, so you've got padding for your knees. So your knees are stacked directly underneath the hips, crown the head and shoulders above the line of the hips. Thigh muscles engaged, glutes engaged, core nice and active. Toes tucked under, hands come onto the lower back. The fingertips can point up or down. And then all this is engaged. Don't want your hips dropping back. As you inhale, you're lifting your heart. So you're squeezing the shoulder blades in, sending the crown of the head back in space. Any other variations that you know of, feel free to take them. So this is your posture if sitting on the heels isn't working for you. You can do 5 breaths, safely come out of it by engaging the low body to come back up to a tall spine, rest for a moment and then maybe go into a second camel pose. Otherwise, you're sat on the heels and then you're widening the knees. So make sure you're a little bit forwards on your mat as well. You want a bit of space behind you, sorry, I should have said that. You're widening the knees, a little bit wider than hip width. From here, bring the fingertips down on the ground behind you. Inhale, lift the seat, send the tailbone forward, exhale, sit back onto the heels. Maybe come onto the palms of the hands. So many options. Stop where you feel like you're feeling quite a lot of sensation, but you can still keep your breath nice and deep. Inhale again, optional. Maybe lift the hips if you're comfortable here. Send the tailbone forwards, exhale, replace the seat back down. Maybe come onto the forearms. Take it step by step. If this doesn't feel great, come back a step. You want to keep the knees pressing into the ground. Inhale, optional, lift the hips, send tailbone forwards if it feels comfortable. Release the seat down and then maybe come to light all the way down on the back. Only if it's comfortable, only if your knees and your hips are happy, your back is happy. And then if you're here, you're drawing the front ribs in towards the back ribs, maybe reaching the arms up overhead, bending the elbows, taking opposite elbows. So wherever we are, another couple of deep breaths. You might be on your second camel pose if this posture wasn't right for you. Another couple of breaths if you can. Make your final breath really big. Make your exhale really complete. And then slowly coming out of it. So if you're on the ground, slowly retracing your steps, bring the forearms down. Press the forearms down. Walk the elbows back in space. Bring the palms of the hands down. Press the palms of the hands down. Slowly coming back up to a tall spine. And then guiding the knees back in towards each other. So from here, Just leaning onto one side, any side. I have to move this guy out of the way. And then swinging the legs out in front of you. So from here, I'm going to draw the heels in towards you and then let the knees flop out to the side. And if you feel now that you're really struggling to stay upright, or your knees are super high like this, my knees are quite high in this posture, I like to bring a little thin block underneath me. You can bring something underneath you, thin block or a couple of cushions, just to make it a bit more easeful. Spine can be a bit taller. And then bringing the thumbs onto the balls of the feet, wrapping the fingers around the tops of the feet. Inhale, press the sitting bones down, send the heart forwards, lift the crown of the head, draw the shoulders back and down. And then as you exhale, gently, without force, just pulling on the feet to draw the heart forwards and down. Inhale, pausing, checking in, exhale. Your body gives you permission, maybe you come a little bit further forwards and down. Slow, conscious breath-led movement. If you want to intensify the sensations in the inner hips, inner thighs, then you might press the elbows down into the thighs to lower the knees to the ground. You might use the hands to peel, soles of the feet open towards the ceiling like a book. See if you can find as much softness in the posture now as you can. You might just allow the spine to round, let the head hang. And just let gravity do its work. Maybe back off a little bit if you've been opening the soles of the feet, pushing the elbows down. Just let it become a little bit more of a yin posture. Let go of any effort. Gravity do the work for you. Take another couple of deep breaths. Inhaling into back body, front body, side ribs. Exhale, letting it go completely. And then as you inhale, slowly, slowly, just guiding yourself up to a tall spine. And then sending the legs out in front of you. So again, it's quite nice to be on a little block or a cushion. If you're, again, especially if you feel like you're kind of rounding your spine, you might feel like you're better directly on the ground. The backs of the legs are long, just sending the backs of the knees down towards the ground. You're curling your toes in towards you, so you send the heels away. Bring the hands just beside the hips. Press the sitting bones down. Press the hands down to lift the crown of the head. Take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, try and come forwards and down. With that tall spine, you're leading with your heart. Shoulders are back and down. And then take hold of shins or ankles, big toes or sides of feet, whichever works best for you. Inhale, breathe a little bit more length into your spine, send the sitting bones back and down, and then exhale. Just beginning to melt forwards and down over the legs. A few more breaths. So really use your breath with each inhale, sending the ribs towards the upper ribs, with each exhale, softening, melting down. Maybe close your eyes, go a little bit deeper inwards. Feel the posture from the inside out. Not concerned with what it looks like, concerned with what it feels like. Your breath is still flowing freely. Final deep inhale. Full exhale, let it go completely. As you inhale, slowly, slowly wind yourself up to a tall spine. And then from here, just come back to sit in a comfortable seat of your choice. Bring your candle just back in front of you. Again, just maybe turn the palms to face down, action of grounding. Press sitting bones down, lift crown of head, soften shoulders away from ears. Either shut the eyes down, or if the eyes are open, maybe direct your gaze towards the flame of your candle with soft eyelids, soft face, no straining. consciously breathing your breath, inhaling deeply, sending that breath all the way down into the chest, belly and beyond. Exhale, letting go completely. And if there's anything else that's come up, that's arisen, again, just send it into that flame. You can use your arms and your hands if that's helpful for you. Maybe mentally or verbally stating what it is you're letting go of. Watching it burn. Take a deep inhale. And this time exhale, blowing that flame out. Just see a bit of smoke. Just imagine that smoke is what you've let go of. It's evaporating. Its energy is being released into Mother Nature. It's going to recycle it for very good purposes. And then let's be health and safety here and move the candle out the way. It's not going to be knocked over. I'm not going to get wax all over our carpet or floor. And then let's come into our nice restorative posture to end. So you should have all these bits and bobs. Don't worry if you don't have them, you can't bother to get them, because you can kind of do this posture without. It just makes it a little bit more supportive, a bit more restful. So if you've got a yoga bolster, wonderful. If not, then you should have fashioned something out of maybe a picnic blanket or a few pillows stacked on top of each other. You want to place that lengthways on your mat, and then you're probably going to want something underneath it to give it a little bit of height at the top end, cushion or two, or yoga props if you have yoga props. And then something maybe at the bottom, just give your seat a little bit of support. Again, a cushion or maybe a thin block if you have a thin yoga block. And then from here, you might want a blanket as well if you're feeling a bit chilly, or just nice to have something over you, just to make yourself feel nice and cocooned and restful. Ideally you have a couple of these, or again a few cushions or something that you can stack up, which is going to support your knees. So just have those handy either side of this little setup that you've made. And then from here, you're going to sit on the little cushion or whatever it is at the bottom of your bolster that you fashioned. And you're just going to lie over the bolster. What you want to make sure is that your head isn't hanging off the top. You're not like this. You want to feel supported. So make sure you're far down enough so that your head is going to be supported on your bolster. And then you're opening your arms out to the sides. It should feel really nice, very gentle heart opener, very gentle kind of back bend. So I feel like a lot of us are on our laptops at the moment, and it's that hunching action, so it's just undoing that, reversing that action. And then from here, you're drawing your heels as close in as you can towards your seat, and then letting these flop out to the side. Soles of the feet come together, much like how we were in Baddha Konasana a couple of postures ago. And then you can bring these or a few cushions underneath the legs, which is just going to support the weight of your legs. So it's not an intense hip opener, it's very gentle and soft, supported. These restorative postures want to feel as though you could just nod off in them, you could just go to sleep. And just opening the heart, opening the hands, turning the hands to face up. And of course you can do this without any props. It'll just be a little bit more intense in the inner thighs, and you won't get that kind of opening across the front body. So if you're without props, that's absolutely fine. And if the posture isn't comfortable for you, doesn't work for you, just come to lie down. Come into any other posture that feels restful. I'm going to stay here for a good 2 or 3 minutes or so. So really allow yourself to let go in this posture. If it's not comfortable, take an alternative. And then just imagine that you're outside, and you're lay in a beautiful field or on a beach, forest, somewhere you connect with. Could be somewhere been before, could be somewhere imaginary. Beautiful space in nature at night time. Feel what you can feel underneath you, around you. Visualise what this space looks like, what you can hear, what you can smell, sensations against your skin. And just imagine this giant, otherworldly, luminous full moon right above you. Just feel yourself being bathed in beautiful, luminous, healing light. And that beautiful, luminous, healing light penetrate your skin. Feeling it enter every cell, nourishing you, just replenishing you after you've let go of what you've let go of, filling that space with nourishment. If you're really comfortable and settled in this posture, stay here for Shavasana. If you'd like to move into traditional Shavasana posture, lying on your back, then feel free to do so. But if you're transitioning into Shavasana, make the movement very slow and deliberate and mindful, and try and keep your eyes closed. Deeply inhaling into your belly, chest, side ribs. Exhale. Sighing it out, letting it go, becoming heavier. Melting into the ground, giving yourself permission to let go, relax, soften. to become a little bit more aware of your physical body, aware of how the ground feels beneath you, how the space feels around you, sensations on your skin. Noticing how the breath is moving through your body. Beginning to slightly deepen the breath, taking a deeper inhale now. A longer exhale. And just allowing these deeper breaths to inspire some gentle movement. Beginning to wriggle fingers, wriggle toes. Gradually making the movements bigger, beginning to circle wrists and ankles maybe. Any other movements that feel good to help you creak your body up, maybe turn the head from side to side. Eventually might want to take a stretch. Inhale, reaching the arms up and overhead, lengthening. Exhale, hugging the knees in towards you. Hugging the knees in, maybe rocking the knees from side to side or making the circles with the knees in one direction and the other. Eventually rolling over to land on one side of your body. Taking a breath, no rush. And then as you inhale, very carefully, slowly just guide yourself back up to a comfortable seat. And again, using support underneath you if that's helpful. Turning palms down, rooting sitting bones down, lifting crown of head, spacious in the spine, shoulders away from the ears, face is expressionless, soft face, soft features. Turning your attention inwards, notice how you're feeling, without judgment, just noticing, witnessing how you're feeling. Breathing your breath. Closing with a deep clearing breath. So you inhale, reach the arms out and up. As fully as you can, bring the palms together. Exhale, completely bring the palms to the heart and then bow, head down to heart. Inhale, lift chin and